Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our National Transfer Week updates and training for our Maricopa partners. We're so glad that you could be here with us today. And so we will be going over lots of really cool updates with you today. Academic Alliance's team, exciting updates and new initiatives, ASU data and transfer updates, my path to ASU and my transfer guide, and of course, lots of updates on the transition from MAPP to my path to ASU. So we're excited to share those with you, as well as some resources that we've developed with you and are happy to share, and some student communication and workshops. Web best practices from our partners, and lots of good stuff. And we'll end with a training on my path to ASU. So you're welcome to stay for the second half or the second bit. But first, this is the Academic Alliance's team. Our role really is to work with the community colleges and act as liaisons to the community colleges. Our team has grown. And I myself worked in community colleges for over 16 years. So I'm happy to be a part of this crew. And with me works very closely Melanie, Pshaenich, and Kathy, both of whom you'll be hearing from, as well as our special guest, Kimberlyn from Maricopa, who will be talking with you as well, and our wonderful colleagues from admissions and ASU online as well. So we're really glad you could be here. At Academic Alliances, we are creating integrated processes at no cost to students or institutions, because it's really our goal to help solve the national transfer problem and increase graduation rates, increase term-to-term persistence, and of course, better transfer outcomes for transfer students overall. At ASU, that's really important. Close to half of all of our current students that study at ASU came to us as transfer students, of course, mostly from the Maricopa community colleges, which comes as no surprise to you, I'm sure. We are very transfer focused. We work across the institution with all of the entities that you see there towards progress. And the reason that we do this is to help to solve that national transfer problem. Dr. Crow gave us that task at Academic Alliances. Next slide, please. Thank you. And that national transfer problem is still persisting, and I'll share some data with you in a moment from the National Student Clearinghouse with the updated enrollment numbers for transfer students across the nation. Really, only 1 in 6 students starting at a community college earn a bachelor's degree within 6 years. Of course, this is national data. This isn't Maricopa to ASU specific data. So if you had 100 new students, and we know that 80 of them would plan to achieve a bachelor's degree down the line, 29 end up transferring and 16 graduate. And that is why we built out my path to ASU, and why we made more tools available to you with my path to ASU that we'll be sharing with you in just a minute. And most importantly, it's really important for us to have your students complete their bachelor's degree at your institutions, because we know that if they do, they're more likely to transfer to us. So this is from the National Student Clearinghouse, and we can share this link with you in the chat so you can check out the whole report. It's really quite interesting. But we know that with this pandemic era, transfer enrollment declines. This is a collective responsibility, because we know that upward transfer has declined. We know there are less students in the pipeline, but we know there are other issues as well. So we really do want to try to assist any way that we can. And with that, some exciting updates and new initiatives that we have overall and with Maricopa. We have some really great data to share out. We now have data that we know kind of shows that my path to ASU works, which is really exciting. We know that students who sign up for my path to ASU participate in upwards transfer. 48% of my path community college students end up applying to ASU. So that in itself is fantastic. 95% of pathway learners who applied to ASU applied within 2.5 years of signing their agreement, which speaks wonderfully to them staying at the community colleges, working towards an associate degree, and then transferring to us. And we know that 87% of admitted immersion pathway students and 85% of online students enroll at ASU. So we are seeing a trend that My Path to ASU does encourage students to complete their educational goals to transfer. These are higher numbers than those for students who do not sign up for a pathway. And we know that for a fact now. So other updates, ASU now has over 1 million transferable courses in My Path to ASU. And these have been evaluated over the past 10 years. We'll be going over the transfer guide with you and also introducing you to the course equivalency search tool if you're not aware of that already. And MAPP, My Path to ASU to My Path to ASU. It has been a transition, and we understand that. And we are really excited in a couple minutes here to introduce you to some resources for you to refer to when assisting students. There are benefits to this transition. We have a clear user-friendly view of ASU and Maricopa course requirements. My Path has over 400 ASU degree programs, including campus location, and in the older system, I believe Maricopa only had access to 250. So it gives students accessibility, really, to a lot more degree choices. It's also an integrated experience, leveraging the transfer guide, which you all now have access to as well. And applicable courses are recommended by term. ASU major and location offerings will be updated in real time, so you'll see those more quickly and less guesswork on your end. And all of them have been curated in collaboration with Maricopa degree requirements as they were before. So we're excited about these changes. We know it's a bit of a different path in a way for the information, but we're here to help with that today. Next slide, please. Yes, thank you. I think there's a bit of delay on my end, so I apologize. We have a site which we'll share in the chat right now that is a frequently asked question for Maricopa students specifically about My Path to ASU. So with this link, feel free to share this out with students. And we also have as well an FAQ for advisors that are assisting students. And we will also share out that link in a moment so you have access to this. This shows only a few questions that are covered. It's a screenshot of the site, of the landing page, but there are many, many more questions on that page. So we would encourage you to check it out and contact me or Kathy if you have questions on any of those. Other things that we're working on, that now that you all are on that My Path to ASU, you all will have access to these fantastic new tools that we're building out. We would not have been able to give you these functionalities beforehand, so we're really excited. We're working on this actually with a grant from the Gates Foundation. So they're in sort of development right now. The first is a course triangulator. And the main functionality for this is to triangulate course equivalencies between non-ASU institutions and expanding ASU's 1 million evaluations. So hopefully we'll see that grow exponentially with this new tool. The next two I'm really excited about. The credit maximizer is based on a learner's existing course history. So it will perform sort of a lot of what-if analyses against multiple credential requirements to identify the learner's progress. And it essentially allows a learner to understand how existing credits would apply to a broad set of programs and assist with decision-making when they are choosing that transfer major. Because as we know, transfer students want to know 3 things primarily. what will transfer, how many credits, and how much it'll cost, right? So this will help them to decide that. And then the interactive degree planner will allow for dynamic sequencing of a learner's remaining work to completion of their program. So they'll see, okay, what could I transfer into that would give me the most amount of credits that I've taken at my Maricopa Community College. It will factor in learner preferences for modality, ASU Sync, ASU Online, ASU Local, all of those different ways that you can access ASU that I'll be sharing with you in just a couple of minutes. And it will take into account degree and course requirements as well. So we're really excited about those. And we're also working on distributed ledger technologies as well. Pocket is first and foremost and is actually out there being tested right now. It's a learner-facing digital wallet intending to allow a learner to store, curate, and share their learning with a broad set of stakeholders. So not only can they get a transcript from your school, which that same process, of course, they would always want to get a transcript, but they will also be able to share the skills that they may have gained in certain classes or internships that they completed. So that's really exciting. And then the Trusted Learner Network is up and running. And thankfully, we have some fantastic Maricopa folks on the board of that. So that's been a wonderful initiative as well. And now I will pass the baton over to Kathy.
Thanks, Annique. You can see the numbers on this map indicate that we have 89 partners across the nation with universal articulation agreements with each one. Our partnerships are with community colleges, just like Maricopa, across 19 states. And of course, that includes the 22 community colleges and tribal colleges in Arizona. Here's a little look at the Maricopa transfer pathway landscape with ASU. There are 18,000 plus students on active pathways right now. So that means that they signed up between fall of 2018 and this semester that we're in right now because of the 4-year time frame for that. That also indicates that 375 average on average sign up each month for my path to ASU. And you can look at the top 10 programs of interest. I noticed some recent changes on this. Social work moved down a little bit. The order on this goes from left to right and then from the top to the bottom. So computer science first and then criminology, business administration, and so on. And you can see there's even another computer science, the one that's the software engineering focus, that's near the top too. So computer science right now is really big with Maricopa students, but you probably know that better than anybody. So accountancy fell down a little bit, and medical studies is now in the top 10 with Maricopa and our other Arizona community colleges and nationally. So that's becoming a really popular major here. Here's a brief pathway update. As I said, over 18,000 students from Maricopa are in active pathway agreement status. Of those, the vast majority are signed up for immersion or in-person programs for when they come here, and 285 of those students are signed up for my path to ASU for online specific programs. And then great news. You can see all of the green across the screen here means that there's been an increase in the past year compared to the previous year before that. So in the trailing 12 months, we have 5,266 students who are in active pathways this past year compared to 3,900 the prior year. And that's the whole district of Maricopa. And then as you have already probably been looking at, your particular college might have a little bit more of an increase than that or a little bit less, but you all are doing a fantastic job of getting the word out about my path to ASU and using the tools to help students have a successful and smooth transfer. So thank you. Let's switch from pathways to new transfers. And The most recent data that we have, of course, ended in the spring of 2022. And so you can see that the numbers are almost identical from last year in new transfers, only 30 students different. But overall, you can also see that the number of new transfers to ASU has been very consistent since 2015 and even before that. And then let's take a look at specifically immersion or in-person programs for new transfers. You can see that that's declined a bit over the past, what is that, 7 years? And so that equates to 7.6 out of 10 students being immersion students. So even though the numbers have gone down, immersion compared to online, still, 76% of students are in immersion programs. And those are, this data is based on the last institution attended. This data is also based on the last institution attended, and it's based on enrollment in ASU online programs. These are not students who are just in an online class or 2 or 3. They are enrolled in online, specifically ASU online, totally online programs. And so 2.4 out of 10 new transfers are enrolled in ASU online. You can see those numbers have gone up quite a bit since 2015. And not super surprising with the pandemic, and maybe that gave some people some practice with online, and they've chosen to continue in a program online. There could be lots of different reasons, and we'll learn more about ASU online later. So we are transitioning right now from the updates to the training. So if you would like a refresher, or if you're a newer advisor or newer employee of the college, of the Maricopa colleges, please stay on. And we also have an update from Kimberlyn in the Center for Curriculum and Transfer Articulation. So if you'd like to stay on, we will get going here. First, we want to share a student story about transferring. This student happens to have transferred from California, and I'll just let him tell his story himself.
My name is Kyle Lafole. I am a third-year transfer from Santa Monica College. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and my major is sports science and performance programming. I initially started school at Santa Monica, California. The school is called Santa Monica College. You know, I wanted to just save money, but still take the prerequisite classes that are normally required at a typical university, but just, wanted to save the cost so that way I wouldn't accumulate as much debt when I got out of college. My path to ASU really gave me like a shortcut on being able to transition to the school a lot easier. My path to ASU gave me a guideline on pretty much what classes that I needed to take here at the school. And as a result, I just pretty much followed that entire guideline and just took all the classes at Santa Monica College so that when I came over here, I wouldn't have to take any other additional classes here at ASU. So that way when I come here, I just strictly focus on my major. So my path to ASU really gave me a good track to follow.
It was pretty much a no-brainer for me that, once I finished my community college, that I was going to end up gunning for Arizona State's College of Health Solutions just because of the history and the necessary tools that they have that will be able to benefit me in the long run.
Oops. There we go. As the year goes on, we'll be putting out some more student stories, and you'll see some from Maricopa as well. So many of you might be already super familiar with the benefits of MyPath, but let's recap to share. And we all know that MyPath to ASU and staying right on track with such a detailed resource saves time and money, because first of all, the students are starting with you, paying community college tuition before they transfer over here to ASU. They're also taking the classes that are on their customized course by course pathway that minimize loss of transfer credit. So they're not taking classes that they don't need for their degree. They can track their progress. in real time using my transfer guide. And I'm going to show you the Maricopa version of that in just a minute, because it's a little bit different than with our other partners because of the long-time relationship and the technology behind the tool that we have as partners. So My Path to ASU also ensures that students get personalized communication. Melanie will be sharing more about those communication. And they also have access to ASU's transfer coordinators and pre-enrollment services. And they'll get invited to special events online and in person at ASU, as well as hear of important deadlines and enrollment kind of prompts to keep them on track for transferring. Of course, a very big benefit for many students is that earned guaranteed admission into the major of their choice if they meet all of their My Path to ASU requirements. So that's a really great feeling of reassurance for students who are, might be wondering, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I taking what I should take? And there's a place waiting for them if they meet all of those My Path to ASU requirements. Okay, we're going to look at My Path to ASU, which, at this stage that you see before you is the exploratory phase. And you can use it as an advisor without signing in, which is great because we know you don't want to sign in every time you help a student and show them some requirements. So this is a great place to explore ASU's majors, look at the requirements, and learn about what's involved with My Path to ASU before you sign up. So here we go. All right, so once a student knows his or her major and is ready to sign up for My Path to ASU because they're either considering ASU or they know they're headed for ASU, they're ready to sign up for My Path to ASU. And as you probably know, the sign up tool for My Path to ASU is on the maricopa.edu website at map.maricopa.edu. And so students can go straight to that. But if they are on that admissions Maricopa landing page, somebody could put that in the chat, that would be awesome. The admission.asu.edu/transfer/Maricopa. Then they will see these steps and they can click right there on the gold button to sign up for My Path to ASU. And then once they sign up, they're going to receive an ASU Right user ID in their email about 2 weeks after they sign up. And they can go to mypathtoasu.asu.edu and sign up for my transfer guide. And so they'll be taken to a page where they're going to be able to sign in to see their requirements anytime and not have to put in all of the information about which program they want to do. So it'll be right there for them anytime they want to check it out. When they sign in, they'll be able to see their transfer coursework. It's important to note that if students try to sign up through the ASU website, it's just going to take them over to that Maricopa sign up. So we don't have to, I know that there might have been some concerns about what if students sign up on the Maricopa site and the ASU site, but that won't happen because they're redirected to the right sign up tool. And they'll be able to use that login information to check on the progress to their bachelor's degree. And they can also request any course evaluations from non-Maricopa schools. So if they have out-of-state or private coursework, then that tool is very helpful. At that point, they're working with you, they're progressing in their degree, and they're preparing to transfer to ASU because they receive helpful communications, as I mentioned. So they can always meet with an ASU transfer coordinator, either at your campus, online, or over here at ASU. And they're on their way over. Yeah. Okay, well, I'd like to turn it over now to Kimberlyn from the Maricopa Center for Curriculum and Transfer Articulation to provide some updates on your end.
So before we hop into the updates, we did just want to point out to a couple of the reasons why using MyPath is a best practice for Maricopa. One of the biggest things is that using the MyPath helps align the students with the correct associate's degree and also their field of interest, so we can make sure students are on track for the career they're interested in. Once they do sign that MyPath, we do see students have a higher GPA and completion rate of their degrees, and it also helps out with course applicability. So if students are ever running into financial aid concerns, using that MyPath allows us to get them funding for all of their transfer courses that are needed for ASU. They also get increased communication and support, like Kathy mentioned, so students are connected to an ASU advisor earlier, and they have the ability to check in on their status and see what classes are needed at any time. So if you ever run into any issues with MyPath, these are the different contacts at Maricopa and with ASU that can help you. So if you have a student that is not able to sign up for MyPath or their pathway tracker prior to, 21 and 22 and prior, you can let Cheryl Begay know. Just email Cheryl if you're faculty or staff. We don't want to share that out with students, but we're able to work on the sign-up errors and also work on the pathway trackers if there's any issues. Sometimes ASU might step in to help as well, but Cheryl's your first go-to. If you are running a degree progress report in the student center or you notice any errors on the pathway planner, you're able to fill out the SIS functionality feedback form. That form comes over to Cheryl in the curriculum office so we can take a look at the DPR. So if there's ever an error that you see, please fill that out and we're able to look at that and then follow up with whatever changes are needed and get it corrected. If you notice any curriculum issues though, or if you have any like notes you think should be added to the MyPaths, you can send those over to me. And I will connect with ASU to see if there's any notes that could come in. And then we'll get that coordinated with ASU to make sure that MyPath is as accurate as possible and lines up with our degrees. So every year the MyPath will go through an annual review similar to how the MAPPs did in the past. The first part of that is ASU's Transfer and Credit Solutions Department looks over the curriculum updates for ASU colleges, and then those updates are input on the MyPath to ASU pathways for students to see online. ASU is also creating a My Partner portal right now that's supposed to open up by next month. And this is a way for staff at Maricopa, so advisors or faculty, to leave notes to ASU. So if they notice any changes are needed on the path or have any recommendations for it, we'll be able to share that feedback with ASU right away. Based on the feedback we provide, ASU can make revisions, and then any updates to the programs will get posted online. The MyPath to ASU will update for all of the programs yearly during the summer, typically early June, as it has in the past. And then the MyPath sign-up tools and SIS codes get updated by us at Maricopa, so we will work on those after the MyPath is updated. gonna share next.
Thank you, Kimberlyn. Hi, everybody. I'm Melanie Pshaenich with Academic Alliances. And one of the really great benefits to your students of signing up for the pathway, as mentioned before, is that they're entered into the communications flow. So not only will they receive communications from the university in general, but they'll receive communications from the college that they indicated on their pathway. And one of the first communications they'll receive is a welcome email from the dean of their college with very college-specific information and great ways for your students to become involved with their college even before they begin their first semester at ASU. They'll also receive an email invitation from our transfer student ambassadors, who are all transfer students from the community colleges throughout Arizona, and they host their own peer-to-peer webinar called Fun Fridays. It's another great way for your students to connect with other transfer students who've gone through the process themselves. And as I mentioned, they'll also receive university-wide communications as they go through their enrollment process. So it's a great way for your students to stay updated and informed on important dates and deadlines, such as when should they apply for FAFSA or when do they begin registering for classes. So it really helps them keep them on track as they prepare for their first semester. They'll also receive invitations to university-wide events, many of which are specifically for transfer students, including new student orientation. So it's yet another way for your students to start building that connection to ASU, that affinity, and to start feeling like they're a part of the campus community as they prepare to begin their first semester. And as I mentioned before, our transfer student ambassadors all come from the community colleges. We have a few from Maricopa as well. They're a really, really fantastic resource for transfer students. They're here to support transfer students and serve as sort of a liaison to the university. So even if your students aren't sure who to connect with or who to reach out to, our TSAs can help them navigate that as well. They also can provide, what their transfer experience was like and the things they learned, things they wish they knew as they were transferring. So it's another great way for your students to make that connection with transfer students who've gone through the process. We invite your students to reach out to our TSAs at any time, either by email or they can leave a voicemail. And our TSAs would be really excited to connect back with them and share what their journey to ASU was like. And again, the TSAs host their peer-to-peer workshops the first Friday of each month. It's completely facilitated by the TSAs. They created the workshop themselves. They share what their transfer experiences was like, things they've learned, helpful hints, and they also go through the My Path to ASU sign-up process as well. So we really encourage your students to take advantage of that and connect with other transfer students who had the experience and are happy to share that with your students. We also encourage your students to sign up for the undergraduate transfer information session, which is now on demand, so they can watch this at any time. And this is presented by Admission Services and provides more of a holistic view of transferring to ASU, as well as another opportunity to learn about My Path to ASU and our Pathway program and tools. We always hope your students will check out the transfer events that are happening again throughout the year and really get involved and become a part of the ASU community. And another thing that I work on with our marketing and communications is with the community colleges specifically on promoting My Path to ASU. And we often get asked by community colleges as we're working with them to update their web pages and all of their marketing and communication materials, what are some great examples that other colleges are doing to highlight My Path to ASU and the relationship with between their community college and ASU. So we've just picked out a few to show with you. One of them, Arizona Western College, they've really dedicated a lot of web space to My Path to ASU and to our partnership. And we thought they did a really great job showcasing My Path to ASU with their own dedicated ASU web pages. And here is some more information Arizona Western College has shared throughout their web pages. As you can see, they're very involved with our partnership. They highlight, different events and workshops. And so we think they did a really great job with this, and we like to, share it with other schools for inspiration and for ideas. And this is another one, Green River College. They did a really beautiful job with their ASU webpage. Again, they have their own dedicated webpage. They show, pictures of ASU and links to all the different programs and to the appropriate transfer web pages and the My Path to ASU web pages as well. And with Maricopa, we chose a couple of schools to highlight. We really liked how South Mountain has a dedicated page for ASU. They provide contact information and an appointment link for a transfer specialist, so students can go right from their own page and make an appointment with an ASU transfer specialist. And then Mesa Community College, theirs is fairly unique because it shows how ASU transfer information is incorporated into their departmental pages, in addition to appearing on their advisement and transfer web pages as well. So we want to give kudos to our Maricopa Community College partners. They've been doing a great job promoting My Path to ASU and our relationship with one another. And with that, I will pass it back to Annique.
Thanks so much, Melanie. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the many, many ways that students can access ASU. We have a lot of choices now, so I wanted to go over these so that everyone is aware. Of course, we have full immersion in person in Arizona that I'm sure you all know about, including our campus out in Lake Havasu now. But we also have in-person in California as well now. We have in-person degrees as well as an ASU local site in California, along with an ASU local site in Yuma as well. And this sort of modality, if you want to call it that, or availability, allows students to take classes online. However, they have a built-in in-person supports at each location. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Of course, we always have ASU Online, which you'll hear much more about shortly here, as well as ASU Sync. And that is the ASU equivalent of Maricopa's Live Online. So those are our synchronous modality digitally. ASU Local really enables students to have the flexibility of the coursework itself, but it allows for in-person coaching, access to community, and also looking in depth at careers around that area where the ASU Local location exists. So it's a really neat new thing that we have. And with that, I'll pass it off to Jennifer Ash in admissions.
Thanks, Annique. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Ash. I work in the admissions office at Arizona State University. So I'm in the next few slides, I'm going to just share some general information about ASU. I see some familiar names in the participant list. Looks like a lot of seasoned Maricopa folks and folks who have great connections to ASU already. So this is really just to provide an overview of our institution if you're not familiar with the campus, or just like more basic information to help you when you're assisting students who are interested in ASU, maybe give you some talking points to kind of trigger you to send them our direction. So the admission staff or their college staff, the ASU college staff at their whatever major they're interested in can assist them in learning more about their degree program and our institution as a whole. So we're one university in many places. So we have, I'm going to focus on our degree offerings for immersion or in-person programs. You can see our 4 campus locations. located within the Phoenix metropolitan area. We do have a handful, a hearty amount of degrees available through our Lake Havasu campus as well, on the Arizona-California border, for students who live in that area. But depending on what a student studies, oftentimes drives what campus they're going to be located at. So there are some majors that are specific to a campus location, but sometimes their major could be offered at multiple campuses. So in that case, they would want to check out the campus characteristics for each location, see which one's going to be the best fit for them. If they're looking for a large traditional college feel, they're probably most likely going to fit in at Tempe campus, which is our historic campus, which was founded in 1885. But if they want a smaller campus size, West Campus, downtown campus, have about 5,000 students that take classes. And then we also have downtown Phoenix campus, which is in the middle of about 13,000 students. So like I said, some of the showcase majors at downtown Phoenix campus are journalism, nursing, public service, public programs, or College of Health Solutions. So those majors are going to be offered downtown. If they're interested in aviation, that's featured at our Polytechnic campus. But majors like psychology, education, those are offered at multiple campuses. So again, they'll just kind of check out each one and see which one is the best fit for them. We do have some good resources online, which can help with this process as well. So we have the Me3 tool and the Campus Fit quiz, which are like quiz style interactive surveys, answering questions to the students about their preferences, and then it does match up to specific degrees that ASU offers. So if you're working with students who are still kind of in exploration mode, these are helpful tools. Then our undergraduate degree search I use it daily. It really is a robust resource of program information, admissions requirements. It gives it pulls in information from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics related to like careers and outcomes, all that kind of stuff. So all really helpful tools for students to kind of navigate all the degree options that they have for students on campus. We do always encourage students to pick the modality of learning that they want to do the majority of their program in. It can get, while it is possible for them to switch from in-person to online or vice versa, it can get a little bit messy and mess up the track for them to degree completion, extending it a bit. So we always have them try and do as much research as possible on the front end to either pick, do they want to complete 100% of their classes online where they never come to campus, or do they just want to do a mixture of both, which would be the in-person immersion modalities. Another big question that we get is the cost. Obviously, there's a big differentiating cost in between what they're used to at the community college and what they're going to pay at the university level. So the tuition estimator has recently gotten a facelift. So it's a very handy tool where students can put in their information to see what the tuition, get an idea of what their tuition costs will be. And then we do encourage all students to complete the FAFSA and take advantage of our scholarship portal. It's a pretty robust database of third parties that want to give to ASU students. They can filter by transfer if they want to, but I always also recommend them use it as a continuing student as well too. So good resources to share with students, that we share with students once they get to us. Something that you can be sharing, we've worked closely with the Maricopa district office to promote raise.me to students while they're at the community college. It's a micro scholarship learning portal. If you're not familiar with it, it's available for universities across the country. ASU has a partnership with them to offer micro scholarships for things that they'll do while they're at their community college to be on track for receiving those funds when they get to ASU as part of their financial aid package. So if it's a good way for them to kind of know that they'll have specific amount of dollars set aside when they get to ASU rather than waiting until after they've been admitted to get their financial aid package. So you can see the variety of things that are available for micro scholarships. Signing up for My Path to ASU is a great one that they could easily take advantage of. So definitely feel free to share the Raise.me website with your students as well as they're getting ready to transition. We are a military friendly institution as well. So this slide we always encourage students to send us their joint service transcripts. We award a variety of credits. Students can use the transfer guide to pull up course equivalency. And then on the next slide, you can see some of the credit hours that they could potentially qualify for based on their years of service. So we have a designated admissions representative that started earlier this fall that will be reaching out to, if you have specific veteran centers in your Maricopa colleges. His name's John McGuire. He'll be looking to connect with you guys shortly to help with that transition and any benefit specific questions that students have about coming to ASU. And then lastly, I'll highlight some 75 credit hour options. If you're not aware, most majors accept about around 60 credits, but there are these handful here that will accept up to 75 credits from community college. So these are some of our most popular degrees for transfer students, especially when they're coming in with a large amount of credit hours. So feel free to keep these in mind when you're working with Maricopa students who seem to accumulate a lot of credits and just need to nail down something to complete these. Three options are really helpful to help them reach that bachelor's degree academic goal. And then nursing has some options as well too. So we can connect you with any of those colleges if you have questions about any of these specific degrees as well. And with that, I'll turn it over to our online friends.
Thanks, Jen. Okay, so I'm here to talk a little bit about ASU Online. You might have some students that are looking to pursue ASU's online programs. We have over 300 degree programs that are offered 100% online. They're accessible 24 hours a day, so good for students that maybe have full-time jobs, families, a lot of responsibilities. Students will follow a syllabus and have due dates, but they will be able to fit in their classes throughout their week and do their work when it works best for them. We do have flexible start dates when it comes to our online classes. So 6 start dates a year, 2 in fall, 2 in spring, and typically 2 in the summer, and 7.5-week class sessions. So 2 7.5-week sessions per traditional semester. Students take anywhere from 1 to 3 courses per 7.5-week session. Our online classes are also taught by the same world-class faculty that teach our campus courses. So students are learning the same concepts, same expectations, just delivered through a different modality. And their degree at the end will not indicate that they completed their program online. Students are also supported with a suite of services, and you'll see a list of these services on the next slide. You can find information on all of these and more on our website, but a couple that I like to mention are our 360 Life Services. This is our counseling platform, so students can get help if something's going on in their life and they need to talk to someone about it. That's a great resource for them. We also have our online tutoring. This is accessible 24 hours a day and for over 150 topics. So students can go in there. There are options for live one-on-one tutoring, group tutoring, worksheets, videos, all sorts of things. So just supporting that student through their academic journey. We then also have our enrollment coaches. So these coaches are with the student from their initial interest into ASU through their first day of class. These coaches can help students explore their options, what they might be interested in, how to get to where they want to go, and determine what program might be best for them. They can also help the student through the application process, answering any questions through that, but also making sure that they are turning in any transcripts that are needed or any other documentation that would be needed for their application to be complete and go through the review process. And then, like I said, they're with the student through the first day of class, and that's when our success coaches take over. Success coaches with the student from the first day of class through graduation. And this person is there to help break down any roadblocks that the student might run into. So balancing life, work, and school. They may have questions about financial aid or advising or anything like that. This person can answer those questions or get them in touch with the exact person at ASU that they need to be. These people can also help with study strategies, time management, all sorts of things, and like to meet the student where they are. So we know students typically that do online are very busy and have a lot of other commitments. So they can chat or just text, email with their success coaches whenever it works best for them. Another way that we support our students is through our online orientation. So this is a 1-week orientation that students will complete before starting their first class. This is a great way to get students in the online platform and teaching them where their assignments are going to be, how they're going to turn them in, where they'll see their grades, and where they'll see feedback on their assignments. So we have students complete this. We have a couple specific ones for military students or students that are within our Ubers or Starbucks partnerships. And we know a big question for advisors and students alike are what will it cost? So with our online, there is no out-of-state tuition. It ranges between $561 to $661 per credit hour. Again, students typically take anywhere from 1 to 3 courses per semester. And then a couple of our popular partnerships we like to mention in case you're working with a student that maybe already works at one of these companies or is thinking about getting a job. You may suggest that they, look at one of these companies first. So we have our Starbucks College Achievement Plan. This is for any Starbucks employee that is benefit eligible, and it's 100% tuition coverage. We've had over 20,000 partners participate in this and over 8,500 graduate. So it's a really great program for those people working at Starbucks to get their college paid for. We also have a similar partnership with Uber. Again, 100% tuition coverage. The unique thing about this partnership is that the reward can be passed to other people and dependents in the person's family. So you might be working with a student where their parent or sibling or child works for Uber. They may be eligible to shift that reward to the student you're working with to take advantage of that 100% tuition coverage. And with that, I will pass it back to Annique.
Thank you so much. So Elizabeth mentioned some great resources for students. Just wanted to point out that those resources, all of the resources you see here, of course, are available to all students, regardless of modality. So I had mentioned ASU Online, Immersion, Sync, Local. We have all the same, of course, supports for students, regardless of the modality that they choose to come to ASU. And here are your presenters today. I also wanted to mention one other thing that occurred to me that is not in place yet, but will be very, very soon. So I wanted to make you all aware of it. Maricopa and ASU will be sharing some communications, co-branded communications with students. And those will go out at 3 different times to students. So if you have a student coming in with one of these, you'll know what they're referring to. Of course, when a student signs up for My Path to ASU, they will receive a welcome letter to the program. They will also receive another letter, co-branded letter, once they have completed 24 credits at Maricopa. And lastly, when they first come to Maricopa, if they have taken an intake survey, one of the Maricopa intake surveys, and have indicated ASU as a university of interest to transfer to, there will be another letter that goes to them. With that, we have shared some resources that are available to you all on the Academic Alliance's website, and we shared our emails on the previous slide. So please do feel free to contact us should you have any questions. We hope you had a great week for Transfer Week. I know we did, connecting with all of our partners near and far. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for joining us today. Bye-bye.